This be the reason I am extraordinary. Extraordinary is the spirit that's within me, and the spirit that's within me is who I am. Man is not a constituent of material possessions. You can pay for the lessons, but come by the class. Ask if the worst condition is to be blind. No, the worst condition is to have eyes, but never have a vision. To function in dimensions. Peace like a river in the bottom of your heart. You need understanding to draw it, just like the earth. All its precious minerals are buried deep under. You gotta dig for oil, you gotta dig for gold, you gotta dig for diamonds, or you gather sand and stones. Oh my, why does every young girl wanna throw away her virginity and every young man wanna give himself to wine? There's a reason the pistol is shaped 7, and why it's not as perfect as 7 is yet a reason. Hello people. I'm a man of many different sides, people often tell me. Yes, many different sides. Yet, everything my life reveals is that these many sides rather have one man behind them. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I introduce to you Baasa Kro. Baasa Kro is a phrase in Twi that means 3 in 1. It's a concept used to describe how multiplicity functions in a singular unit, and oftentimes used in the Akan language to represent God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. Nyame Baasa Kro. My name is DK Osei-Yaw. I work in the art industry in Ghana with a 10-year multidisciplinary career in art as a poet, a writer, a rapper, a musician, and a recording artist who popularized spoken word slam poetry in Ghana. From a background of poetry, I started performing, living off performances at age 19, and then I went on to become one of the few people who made doing poetry full-time after university really cool. Throughout all this, and as it is said that he who gives receives, I realized in the passage of time that as I reached out to my society with my gift of being able to formulate words and deliver them on stage, I increased from that to being also able to do it melodiously, thereby revealing the side. And as well, the need to bring character to my delivery turned me into an actor. And also the delivery of words rhythmically over beats exposed my passion for rap, which I'd long loved. And finally, after formulating many pieces, I observed how themes recur in text, that too inspiring me to venture into prose and short stories. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how I have become a multidisciplinary artist, and as I speak now, I constantly keep discovering much more to aid my delivery of words on stage. Yet, my increase did not come as easy as it sounds. It took a lot of patience, endurance, and character formulation. And in the course of all this, I discovered that being a passionate artist alone did not make one successful or great, but it took maturity from your passion into your calling to understand the ways of greatness. So in the course of all this, I discover the reason for which I have been called to art. And the reason why I believe I kept being added onto, or I kept being increased. As a multidisciplinary artist, I understood that I was more predisposed to playing a key role in making the art a very important tool for dialoguing in Ghanaian society, apart from the conventional ones that we had. And this was to use contemporary art, its provocativeness, to fulfill one great breakthrough, which is to get the attention of the Ghanaian public that something of a sort existed, and it was okay to be used as a form of expressing your ideas and opinions and views and identity. And not just that, my strategy was to use an area in fine art that I'd long been exposed to as a child, which is the building of art installations, and blend that with my foundation of words that I had in poetry. So what came out is what I call poetry installations. And a poetry installation is an art installation that brings out the power in the imagination of words. in the form of texts of prose or poetry. Take a look at this one, for example. This is a typical poetry installation. Now, consider this a forethought. I did this project called African Image Baasa Kro. Now, so I carried my poetry installations, and with the underlying theme of 3-in-1 Baasa Kro, I came out with the project African Image Baasa Kro. And as you look at this installation, there are three basic elements that describes it. First of all, the project African Image was a project that documented how young Africans around the globe are expressing their identity. And a project that also went on to become a formal documentation through art of the evolution of the cultural identity of the Ghanaian as well as the African. So consider this, that at every instance where a young African is expressing his identity, it happens in a place that carries all the conditions, the taste, the what do you call it, the conditions, the weather, whatever, the physical content of all that, and that's represented by the background. And then you have also the outfit. So you know, in Africa, the clothing is an important part of the African identity, so you can't leave that out. So you have the outfit, and then also you have the African persona, without whom you wouldn't have the, what do you call it, the African identity at all. So you have your three things together there. And this installation is called New Creation. Let me tell you a bit about New Creation. New Creation, it creates a visual theme of warmth and elegance, and of the surrealness of distance communicated by the intensity of tones and the movement of subjects. It uses packaging materials, as you can see, to express a globalized African identity accentuated in a spirited personality. The next one is called All Things. All Things employs the movement, symmetry, hierarchy to express the pollution on metropolitan West African beachfronts. It is aimed at achieving a certain discrete plush with the subject of poetry. And you have Highly Favored. Highly Favored is the meeting point for two distinct economic conditions, with the African woman serving as the inanimate link. The straw hut representing the thatch roof of an agrarian economy, and the barrels representing the oil wealth of a globalized modern economy. And you have More Than the Conqueror. More Than the Conqueror expresses a makeshift identity in which there's a form of poetic orderliness imbued in the movement that's within the nature of its constituents. The stitching on the ring, the wavery pattern on the thick rope and its tying, the rotating quality of the silver bulb, and the chapters reached by the boxer on the ladder to spar at an obstacle which is connected by the bicycle as a cycle of life. So, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the four installations from African Image. So this year, I'm working on another project with the same spirit and motivation, which is to get the attention of the Ghanaian public. It's called Abenkwa in the Speed of Light. And the simplest idea is a combination of performance art, an art exhibition, video exhibition, and then also a musical concert. So the performance art happens at the traffic light, one of the busiest traffic, lights in Accra, where when it turns red and all the vehicles stop, you have a couple run to the road, set up a table and eat fufu and pack up in time and leave before it turns green. Yeah, and I'm hoping to set a new Guinness record for the Guinness World Record. So I've been talking to them to pick up my phone. And also the musical concert is going to be fantastic. The idea is to use the basic, the foundational meaning of music, which is the creation of melody, which is a combination of beats and tones. So what's going to happen is, at the concert, we're going to have like 15 fufu pounders on stage. We'll be providing the beats for the rap verses, and also the asankas will be made into some kind of xylophone. Because we're studying how the xylophone is made. You know how they use the calabash to amplify with the string, so that when you hit it and it vibrates, it creates the tones. But we're going to arrange them in a musical order, so it creates a melody. So you have the two there, Sanka and the Fufu Pounders with a DJ. And actually the date has been set for the concert, which is the 11th of December. It'll be at the Alliance Francaise. Yeah, so you should be there. And this project is generously sponsored by the Goethe Institute, Accra. Yeah, I'm still looking for sponsors. It's 55,000 Ghana cedis. And yeah, I'm advanced in the project, and I'm really looking forward for everybody to be part of this. Thank you very much.